Today on In the Wood Yard, we've got some deliveries to do. We're going to load it up and we're going to go do it. Here we go. What we have here is oak, and this is what my customer wants is oak. We got lots of oak. This whole bin is oak. We're going to put some in here. So this first customer is many time repeat customer. He just got, I think, 2 face cords no more than maybe a couple weeks ago. And he's been doing maple syrup boiling, and he needs more wood. He said he was out, and he did some hard maple, and he said he wants to try oak this time. He's used oak in the past, but he said now he wants oak back again. So I'm going to put in a face cord or a third of a cord into the baby dumper, and then we're going to go deliver this later today. So what I'm going to do is load it up, park the trailer, and the reason I'm doing it right now, because this is until the end of the day, is it's frozen here. Last night we got cold enough that the ground froze up a little bit because it's been really soft, and I want to get it loaded up and get it parked off to the side over by where the gravel is while the ground is still hard. And I'm going to load up my truck also because I've got another delivery that I want to do. So I want to get the 2 deliveries loaded up now so that I can have them ready to go later today. So that's what's going to happen. So it's time to start chucking some wood in. Beautiful day today. Right now it's about 34 degrees, and it is supposed to get, from what I heard, it's supposed to get up in the mid to upper 50s today. So it's going to be an awesome day for working outside, just like all the other days. So here I got the wood loaded, and I thought my mic was on, but it must not have been, and I never checked it after I shot this little segment here, but I know what I'm doing here, so I'm going to tell you what I did. So the bins, I'm just showing you how I've eaten down into them. I've gotten down past the midpoint. Originally they were, 7-8 feet high, and so now I'm down in the bottom, so I wanted to kind of moisture test some of this wood. So I'm just showing you how high they were. All were that height at one time. And so I pulled some pieces out, and I'm going to do some moisture tests because I'm just curious as I go down lower to see if the wood is as dry down low as it was up high. So I pulled a few pieces out that were some of the bigger ones, and I split them. And I'm going to split them down a little bit, and I do have a moisture meter here, so I'm going to show you guys how it worked. I got a new meter, and this one was given to me, and it works really good. I compared it to my other ones, and it's accurate. So right there, that piece is 15%. On the outside. That's a piece of beech right there. Here's a piece of hard maple that I got from another bin, and that one is almost 13%, which really good. That's kind of where I want the wood to be. Those 2 kinds dry pretty fast. Here is a piece of red oak, and I split it open, and that one is also at 13% on the inside. So these were split open. I did split them, and I'm checking the inside, not the outside of the wood, and that does make a big difference, so you need to do that. So I'm just telling you, I'm going to split those down and test those next. There's a couple other pieces I pulled out that we're going to check right now. So I just grabbed the big old maul there, and I'm just going to try to pop these down just to kind of check the inside of them and see what I've got. That's the only maul I could find. My Fiskars splitting axe wasn't around, but yeah, you want to split your pieces open because the outside will always be drier than the inside. And I think this is a piece of, I think that's hickory. Looks like a piece of hickory. And it says 7 or 8%, which I don't believe because wood rarely gets below 12 or 13. So there you go. See, I just tested the wrong spot. That's still really dry. If you get it down. Oh, the first one was outside the wood, and the second one was inside the wood. So 12, 13% is really low. I mean, that's awesome to get it that low. So there you go. That's more like about almost 12%. Now, a lot of times I will use several meters just to make sure that I'm doing it right or the meter's reading correctly. If you got just 1 meter, it might be off, a little bit. There's a possibility that it's high or low, but so anyway, I'm just checking it here. So this is a piece of, I think that's red oak if I remember right. And I don't believe, yeah, it's red oak. I can see there. I can see the green. And there, it's a little higher. That's more like it. That's still really dry wood. That's really good. Anything below 20% I will sell. Once you get it down to 15 to 12% is awesome. All right. I am climbing up on top of my pile of beech here. This is a pretty high one. And I'm just coming up here just to show you guys what I have that's probably different than what you have. For a lot of people, when they tell me, oh, you know, you have to have your wood stacked and you got to put it up against a building or you got to put it in a wood shed. No, you don't. This is the best place I've ever had wood as far as stacking. You know, a lot of people will stack their wood right after they cut it and split it. They'll put it right into a shed that's got a roof and it's got sides. Might be open on one side. All my sides here are open for drying, all my sides. So we get wind 24 hours a day, 365. It's always windy here. There's always a breeze. Like today, there's supposed to be calm winds, but it's supposed to be calm, but I can feel a breeze. So I get wind all the time. Yesterday, there was 20, 25 mile an hour winds all day long. So the wood I have here, because it's loose, the air can flow right through it, whereas when you stack it, it's tight, compacted, put together. So the way I explain it, one guy asked me, he says, well, how can you just leave it like this in the bins? Won't it dry better if you stack it? I said, well, if you take a ream of paper and you put it into a tub full of water, so that paper is going to soak up water, and you take that same ream and just set it out, how fast is it going to dry versus if you take it apart, individual pieces, and kind of just throw it in a pile loosely? It's going to dry faster loose. It just is. That's what I've got here. And there's guys that don't believe me, but this is the best place I've ever had for drying wood, bar none. When I was a kid, we used to stack wood between trees in the woods, down in low spots, kind of out of the way. And we would leave it there for 2 or 3 years, sometimes 4 years. But I want to turn my wood over every 6 months, 8 months, a year at the most. I want to actually have the wood sold, gone, replace it with new wood. Because I'm selling wood, I'm not just sitting on it, storing it. And for those of you that are doing that, that's fine. But I turn my wood over as fast as I can. And the wood I have stored here dries way faster than any other way I have ever done wood. It's just fantastic. So if you see the trees over there, that's 600 yards away. The trees over there, that's like 400 or 500 yards away. The trees over there, that's like 300 yards away. There's no shade here, none. Sun and wind, sun and wind, sun and wind, and time. But I have sun and wind, which decreases the amount of time that I need for drying wood. It dries really fast here. There's a lot of naysayers that make comments, especially guys that are new to the channel, guys that have been doing the same thing, the same way that their dad and their grandpa and great-great-grandpa and great-great-great-grandpa did, that do the same thing all the time, and they think that that's just the way to do it. And that's fine if it works for them. But this works for me. So just saying, sun and wind, open spaces. If you can do that where you're storing your wood, it'll dry way faster. Plus the size of my splits are a little bit smaller. I tried to get it down to this size stuff. This size. This is what my customers want. They want to be able to pick it up with one hand. And for me, it's a little bit more work, but it dries faster. And it works fantastic. That's what they want. Like I said many times, my customers are fireplace people, fire pit people. They do not want big chunks of wood. They want to see flames and they want it to burn now. A lot of people I sell to also have small fireplace inserts or small wood stoves, and the number one thing that they say is, I don't want any big pieces. I don't want any big, huge pieces. If my wife can't pick it up with one hand, it's too big. I don't want anything over 16 inches. I don't want anything bigger than 4 or 5 inches across. I want small stuff. I hear that all the time. Every once in a while, I have a piece get through that's a big chunk, and the guy's like, well, I'm gonna need to split this down, even though there's nothing wrong with it, and it's perfectly good. But so there it is. Okay, I'm gonna quit ranting now. I'm gonna get down off my mountain here and we're gonna go load the truck up. So I am back from my first delivery and I just backed up the truck into the next bin here because this is hickory. And I did this because normally I would drive between the piles and come around here, but as you can see here, this is all, the snow drifts are melting off, so this is just like pudding here. You can see where I stepped right there and it's turning into this kind of stuff. not nice to walk in. So I tried to keep the trailer and the truck out of it as much as possible. So I just kind of snuck into this corner, and I'll be able to chuck the wood right from this bin right in here without having to go out into the slop. So this next delivery is a brand new customer. Called me, I texted me this morning, and he said he'd like some wood delivered as soon as possible. And I said, well, I can do it today. Could be there in probably an hour. And he said, well, he's interested in a mix. I said, like mixed hardwood? He says, no, can I have half cherry, half hickory? I said, absolutely. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to chuck in some of this hickory from right here off the top of this pile, the stuff that's older and gray. We're going to put about half of a face cord or half of a third of a cord, so a sixth of a cord. That's what he's going to get. I'm going to put that in, and we're going to go over to the cherry bin. We're going to put some cherry in to top it off. Put the cherry on the top. It'll be like a Sunday, even though today's Saturday. So we're going to chuck some wood right now. So the wood was here. Now it's in there. I put about a sixth of a cord or so in here. Maybe a little bit more, maybe a little less. Don't know. Don't care. Customer didn't care. He said about. Didn't say I had to have it stick for stick even. And so now we're going to finish the back end off with cherry, because I don't know that he knows the difference. I don't know if he's smoking with this, that he wants it separate to try different kinds. And I'll obviously show him the difference when I get there to show him what the hickory looks like versus the cherry. A lot of people don't know the difference, so a lot of times I'll get there and I'll actually take pieces and say, here's the cherry, here's what it looks like on the inside, here's what it looks like on the outside. And I'll take a piece of the hickory and say, here's what the hickory looks like, here's the inside, here's the outside. Put it in two separate spots so they can see it, because most people don't know. And there's even wood I get confused on sometimes when I look at it. If I'm not positive, I have to kind of look at it and split it, smell it, taste it, you know, whatever. You got to kind of study it a little bit. So when I was chucking this in here, you know, even the hickory can look different from piece to piece. And it can be, you know, something that you're not quite sure on, because you can get a piece like this that's smooth bark, which is bitter nut, so it's real smooth. And then you can get a piece, if I can find one, that's got a shag bark. Right here's a shag bark one. You can see where it's coming off. It's just more shaggy. Or you can get a piece. So here's another piece. See if I can get one with no bark. Here's one with no bark. So if I would look at this, you know, just not knowing what it was, it would take me a while to figure this out. But what gives it away to me right here is you see this light band on the outside and then the darker to the inside, because it looks like oak or ash possibly. Then you see that light band right there, and that's what gives it away that it is hickory. The other thing that gives it away is this little bit of bug dust here, because hickory gets those bugs in it and they chew on it, it gets this little dusty stuff on it, so that's kind of an indicator I look for. But when you don't have bark on it, it's a little harder to tell. It does make it more difficult. So here's another one. It'd be hard to tell. This one would be really hard to tell. I mean, other than knowing that that's the shimmery look that hickory has, and you see that little light band on the outside there, that would give it away. But if you were to see this all by itself, I'd have to split it, maybe smell it, taste it, that kind of stuff. So it could be hard to tell. All right, let's go load some cherry. There it is, a beautiful load is in, and put the tarp on because I got to go down the highway for this one a ways, and don't want anything to blow out and go tumbling and kill people. Don't want to do that. And so it's half cherry, half hickory, and it's probably a little bit more than a third of a cord or face cord in here, but I'm okay with that because it keeps the people happy, and I'm happy because I don't have to stack anymore. I like saying that, I don't have to stack anymore. And you know, after this, I'm not going to stack anymore. Okay, we're going to go do a dump. That dump felt good and it is complete. The next one is for mixed hardwood, and I just backed up to the pile here, and it seems to be drying up pretty good out in some of the areas here wherever there was not snow. Where there's drifts over on the other side there, it's pretty soupy, so I'm trying to stay out of there. So I came around to the back side. This is the back side of the field over. You can see the new pile we've been dumping into, and then here's the oldest wood I have, which is this mixed hardwood right here. It's mostly ash and maple. So we're gonna chuck this in. We're gonna do 1/8 cord, 1/3 of a cord into this. But this delivery is for tomorrow morning, but I want to get it done now so that it's done. And then I think I got one more after that tomorrow, and that's for oak. So I like to do that a lot of times, load up the truck or the trailer the day ahead of time if I know I got a delivery right away in the morning. A lot of times what I'll do is I'll take the trailer home with me, just park in the driveway, and then just go do my delivery either on the way here to the wood yard, because I'm about 7 miles away, or it's on the other side of town. Instead of running all the way back out here and then going all the way back again, a lot of times I'll do that. So I try to figure out what's going to be the most efficient use of my time and mileage. And for this particular one that I'm going to be delivering, it's on the other side of where I live. So that's going to work out really good. So we're going to chuck some wood in. 1/3 of a cord right now. Here it goes. There it is, wood in the trailer. I like to get some of the pieces that are sticking up a little bit down, so when the tarp's on it, it's not rubbing on them. So I always try to kind of take some of that off if I can. That is 1/3 of a cord, or a face cord, or a ricka-rinka roll, whatever you want to call it. There it is. And that took about 5 minutes and 37.5 seconds. I don't know, it didn't take long to chuck it in. A lot of people tell me, oh, you need to use the tractor or the grapple to grab it and lift it. For the amount of time it would have taken me to go get the tractor, bring it over here, scoop it in, put it in, it's about the same amount of time, and I get zero exercise when I do that. And this is the main reason I do this, like I said, is exercise. So in this pile right here, there's a little bit of oak right here, some oak. There was, I would say, I don't know, quite a few sticks. Another piece of oak, another piece of oak. So there was a bunch of oak in here, which normally I don't put a lot of oak in my mixed hardwood. I kind of keep that separate. Well, here's a piece of box elder. I only saw a couple of those. There's a couple, you can tell by the pink on there and the bark. And a lot of maple. Right here is maple. You can see by the bark and the texture of the wood. There was a bunch of ash. This is maple. Where's the ash at? Right here's a piece of ash. Nope, that's a piece of oak. Hard to tell sometimes. Another piece of oak. I know there's ash in there. So the majority of this, I would say a good 80% of this is ash and maple. And then there was a little bit of elm I saw, a couple pieces of box elder, and then quite a few pieces of oak that I chucked in. So just kind of a mix of stuff, and that's what a lot of people want. They just want a variety of stuff. And I personally like, this right here is a piece of box elder. I personally like box elder for in a fireplace and a fire pit. It burns easier, lights faster, lights easier, puts a nice flame out. But then to put some oak in with it and some maple in with it, it's kind of a nice mix. And elm burns about the same. It all burns. It's good, dry wood. That's just really all that matters. So I got this in. We're going to cover it up right now. The baby dumper's been working excellent. I'm really liking it. It's so nice to just touch the wood one time, throwing it in like this. And then when I go to deliver it, just dump it off and drive away, which is really nice. So we'll pull this out. I gotta oil this, it's getting a little bit squeaky. Come on, baby. I got the new tarp on, obviously, you saw that, got put on a while ago. But yeah, I just slide this pole back here and put it down in the lowest notch. And then I go tighten it up. And then the wood is safe and sound, tucked in like a bug in a rug. There we go. So there you go, folks. That is done. And tomorrow I will be delivering this load along with one other load. If you want to come back, then do another one. So that's happening tomorrow, 5:30 a.m. I will see you then. I'll be here. You should be here. Right now, go watch some other videos on my channel. There's 1,300 waiting for you. Good night, Irene.